Start broadcast. Hi, YouTubers. It's me, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art. I want to thank you for joining me. I'm doing a Google Plus Hangouts thing because that's the easiest way for me to do my YouTube videos. It posts live on Google Plus, as you know, if you're watching me live on Google Plus, and then afterwards, when I end the video, it posts up automatically on my YouTube channel, which is why I like the Google Plus thing. The only downside is if I make any errors, it really takes way long to edit it. So I'm just going along with it. So I want to thank Dave Parrish, who inspired me to keep going, who has inspired me, and all of my subscribers who have encouraged me to keep doing this, posting on YouTube about the Fukushima and the nuclear liars. And you know, it may be grim, but we should not just lay down and let them just roll all over us. So tonight, I heard, and I don't know if you guys know Dave Parrish's channel, but that's it, Dave Parrish, Parrish. And every Friday he has a Fuku Friday Hangout, and it's only like 8-10 minutes long. Super awesome. And this week, Dave, you were completely inspiring. And I actually dug around tonight about Fukushima news because of Dave's video. And because a lot of my interest has really been about the Manhattan Project and why we're in this secrecy of it all. And like St. Louis and Hanford, the nuclear catastrophes that are in the United States that affect us and affect the people that I love and care about, frankly. I guess if I lived in upstate New York, I'd be freaked out about Indian Point, or if I lived anywhere along the Mississippi or any of those places that had nuclear power facilities, I'd be freaked out there too. Turkey Point, every nuclear facility is a complete disaster and a wreck. There isn't one of them that's in good situation. But let's get to this because this is very interesting. And thank you, Dave, for this inspiration because this is actually really good information. So I'm going to put it here and then I'm going to screen share with you guys. So hang on, Pecan. Check this out. This is the title, Japan Times. And this was dated April 29th, 2018. Let me go back here and says share with everyone, present to everyone. Okay, that makes it look better for you guys. I believe it does. Okay, so this is what this story says. This is an unbelievable, imagine this is highly radioactive dirt, just filling these, just sitting there. Japan Times. Fukushima residents fight state plan to build roads with radiation-tainted soil. Fukushima. The Environment Ministry plans to use radiation-tainted soil to build roads in Fukushima Prefecture, starting with trials in the city of Nihonmatsu next month. But in the face of fierce protests from safety-minded residents, the ministry is struggling to advance the plan. Don't scatter contaminated soil on roads, one resident yelled during a Thursday briefing by Environment Ministry officials in Nihonmatsu. The officials repeatedly tried to sue them with safety insurances, but to no avail, thank goodness. Ensuring safety is different from having a public feeling of at ease, said Bunsaku Takamiya. Bunsaku Takamiya, a 62-year-old farmer who lives near a road targeted for the plan. He claims the project will produce groundless rumors that nearby farm produce is unsafe. Well, guess what, Bunsaku? It is unsafe, my dear. 7 years after the March 2011 core meltdowns at Fukushima #1 nuclear plant. And look, after they started, they have not ended. That's what they forgot to say. Takamaya has finally been able to ship his produce in Fukushima without worry. Then the ministry's soil plan surfaced. A woman in the neighborhood agrees. The nature and air here are assets for the residents. I don't want them to take it away from us, she said. Under the plan, tainted soil will be buried under a 200-meter stretch of road in the city. The soil, packed in plastic bags, has been sitting in temporary storage. The plan is to take about 400 cubic meters of the soil buried under the road at a depth of 50 centimeters or more. And how deep is 50 centimeters for we Americans? It's 1.64 foot long. So that's about 18 to 20 inches long, right? Probably 20 inches. 1.64. Where'd we go? Okay. The plan is to bury it under the road at a depth of 50 centimeters or more, cover it with clean soil to block the radiation, because you know that clean soil, it has that ability to block radiation, and pave over it with asphalt. That's their intended thing. The ministry intends to take measurements for the project in May. Yeah. Fukushima is estimated to have collected 22 million cubic meters of tainted soil at most. The ministry plans to put it in temporary storage before transporting it to a final disposal site outside the prefecture. Right. We've heard this before, haven't we? The idea is to reduce the amount. The ministry thus intends to use soil with cesium emitting a maximum of 8,000 becquerels per kilogram in public works projects nationwide. What? Let me repeat that. Wow. The idea is to reduce the amount. The ministry thus intends to use soil with cesium, emitting a maximum of 8,000 becquerels per kilogram in public works projects nationwide. The average radiation level for soil used for road construction is estimated at about 1,000 kilograms, 1,000 becquerels per kilogram, the ministry says. The ministry, so they raised it, so they allowed it to go up. It's exponentially higher. That is outrageous. 8,000 becquerels. The ministry has already conducted experiments to raise ground levels in Minamasoma with tainted soil, saying a, quote, certain level, unquote, of safety was confirmed. Similar plans are on the horizon regarding landfill to be used for gardening in the village of Itate. Those people might as well have stayed there after the freaking meltdowns, if that's what they're going to do. But it is first time, it is the first time, that's what they should have written, but it is first time it will be used in a place where evacuations weren't issued after the March 11th meltdowns. Great! So now they're going to recontaminate people who weren't contaminated. Given the protests, and an official link to the ministry said it's difficult to proceed as is. Look at these comments. This is also what really fascinated me. Okay, here's one guy, RR02, a road that glows in the dark. This could catch on. That's pretty good. Listen to this, PHB 6 days ago. If you think about it, it's a very good way of reducing the impact of the problem. The problem. How do you like this? The problem. The problem is radioactivity. How do you do that? Beneath 0.5 meter of asphalt and clean soil, radiation through from the contaminated mix will be non-existent. I don't think so. And the problematic soil will have plenty of time to gradually break down and lose the radioactive elements. Do they have any idea how long that's going to take? 500,000 years at least. Plutonium has a half-life of 24,500 years. Cesium has a half-life of 27 years. That's a quick one, 27 years. Cesium, thyroid cancer. One concern that needs to be looked into by experts is groundwater and rainwater, potentially washing some contamination away from the roads and into gardens and farms. But that will most likely be negligible just 3 meters away from the planned deposits, given the low radiation output of the soil in question. We wonder who this is. PHP. On behalf of TEPCO and the nuclear murderers. Okay, listen to this. Star Viking 6 days ago. Jeepers, hypocrisy much? Farmers complaining about contamination set fire to their waste, sending thick caustic smoke clouds to choke their neighborhoods. As if there's even a comparison between farmers burning their although farmers living in Fukushima burning their smoke, it's the same thing. But it's not hypocrisy, you horrible person. Okay, and here's this. Here we go. Procyon. That's what I call sweeping the dirt under the carpet. So here we go, burying the dirt under the carpet. Okay, and then check out this. Then I looked at this. Number of children in Japan falls for 37th year to hit a new record low. So I opened it up. Okay, and I started thinking about this. So for 37 years ago, it was 1981, right? So that's when, for 37 years, for the 37th year, for the 37th consecutive year, the number of children in Japan fell for the 37th consecutive year to a new record low, the latest data shows Friday, indicating efforts by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's administration to combat the long-running low birth rate challenge are still wanting. Okay, so look at this time frame. 37 years ago, it was 1981. That's when they started to notice it, okay? When did Hiroshima happen? Hiroshima happened in 1945. So between 1945 and 1981, that was 36 years. That is actually just about a little bit over a generation. They say a generation is 26 years. So that's 26 years plus 10. The birth rate really began to start falling in Japan. Sterility went down. People were having birth defects that were not talked about and not discussed. And what do you think this is doing today? Let's read this story. It's very sad. What's really sad is the way they scratch their heads and they just can't figure it out, and they blame the Japanese people. The number of children, including foreign nationals, fell 170,000 from a year earlier to 15.53 million as of April 1, the lowest level since comparative data became available in 1950. Wow. According to the Minister of Internal Affairs and Communication, a child is defined as a person of age 14 or under. So they started keeping track 5 years after the bomb. And all it's done is just start dropping for the 37th year. Wow. The ratio of children to the overall population dipped to a record low of 12.3%. Down for the 44th straight year. Well, how long has it been? 44 straight years. So let's look at that. 2018 minus 44 equals 1974. This is about 2 generations, you guys. This is just unbelievable. Among 32 countries with a population of 40 million or more, Japan ranked the lowest in terms of ratio of children to the overall population, lower than that of Germany at 13.2% and South Korea at 13.1%. The United Nations Demographic Yearbook showed. Abe has pledged to tackle the nation's declining and aging population by implementing measures to promote women's empowerment in society. Good, because women will stop this bullshit. That is for sure. You get the women time to not have to work, go ahead. And beef up support for child rearing by increasing the number of daycare facilities. Oh, that's just great. Let's just put more kids in those daycare facilities. But those efforts have yet to bear fruit. By age, children from 12 to 14 comprise the largest group of 3.26 million, while the group covering newborns to 2-year-olds stood at 2.93 million. By gender, there were 7.95 million boys and 7.58 million girls. The ministry said the number of children in the nation peaked in 1954. That's right, just 9 years after, at 29.8 million, while the figure briefly picked up in the 1970s due to the second baby boom. Its downward trend resumed in 1982. Among the 47 prefectures, Tokyo was the only one that had more children than the previous year, according to prefectural data. That's because they get more people coming in from outside of other countries who aren't sterile or give their babies birth defects so that people feel like they have to have abortions, which they do in Japan without even thinking twice, folks. Okinawa had the highest ratio of children to the overall population at 17.1%, while Akita Prefecture logged the lowest at 10.1%. Wow. I wonder if anybody noticed this. Wonder what this says. I don't see anybody talking about radioactive contamination. Nothing. Nothing. Sad. Well, I'm going to stop sharing. Bink. Here we go. Here we are, back again. So, and part of the reason why I'm doing this is to get the information out, because as Dave says, 6 minutes a day pushes the information out on the internet, because if we don't do it, nobody else does. And that speaks to the people that we know who are following us, like Mike Bunch. I mean, I know that you follow us and you were putting out videos for a while. I wish you would. And I really love Glenn Woodford's videos. They're awesome. Such an interesting take on putting out videos. And I like Vegematic and Tom Ackerman, the Sane Environmentalist. We all have like completely different styles, but guess what? It matters. And frankly, I really miss Miss Milky the Clown. I don't know about you guys, but I sure do wish she would come back, because I miss her. But I get it. It's been a long time. Does this mean we're just going to put these videos out for the rest of our lives? Are we going to have internet for the rest of our lives? I don't know. Who knows? I mean, at this point, it cannot be sustainable. It's not going to be a matter of if, it's really a matter of when, you guys. And part of why I'm reading these stories is just the absolute, can you believe the absolute insanity of that story? They're going to put their radioactive waste, which they have been storing in this. Why pick it up if you're just going to bury it under asphalt and spread it all over Japan? It's just unbelievable, unbelievable insanity. So, hey, so I see that I have a viewer, and I don't know if there is like a live chat box, but I thought I put that in there. So if anyways, it doesn't look like it is. Let me see if I can open that up. Let's see, does that say anything? Enter commands. So does this chat work? Oh, I have to put my glasses on to be able to even type. So hang on. So I'm going to end here soon, guys, but let's see. I wonder if the chat works. So I wrote, does the chat work? So if it does work, I'm just going to see how that works, because that'd be kind of cool if we could like get people to start chitty chatty. So this is my thing. I really want us to actually figure out ways to put out the information to just stop the insane conversations, like just the insanity of they're going to put the dirt from Fukushima 18 to 20 inches below asphalt, put new dirt on top of it, and then put asphalt, and then call it good and act like it's not. And think of this. Japan has underwater, like it's an island, which means there's all kinds of water underneath there. And they are seeing the results of Hiroshima in their children already. And they have sacrificed their children of Fukushima already. They're moving people back into Fukushima. What is this about the nuclear industry that the Japanese legislators and the leadership are willing to sacrifice every one of their people for that? I mean, maybe our leaders, in fact, our leaders are willing to sacrifice. Look what's happened in St. Louis. Look what's happening in Hanford. Look at every single nuclear site in this country. None of them, not one, functions perfectly or functions efficiently or excellently. Not one of them. Not one. There is not one. So why are we being sacrificed to the nuclear gods? Why has the nuclear priesthood abandoned its flock? They call themselves, Dr. Weinberg. I read his speech that he gave to these nuclear scientists in I guess it was 1952. They didn't allow it to come out until 2010. But I've read it. It's on here on my YouTube channel, Dr. Robert Weinberg. It's called Nuclear Power. He said that they were the nuclear priesthood, that we now have a Faustian agreement with the nuclear industry. And if you don't know what that means, a Faustian agreement means that we're willing to forego our morals and ethics for profit, that we're kind of making a devil's bargain. Well, I don't know about you, but I was born in 55. I didn't make any agreement with the nuclear industry. In fact, I believed the nuclear industry, that they were protecting us. And when in fact, we have discovered that the military and the nuclear industry just, as a matter of fact, they lie and they incentivize the nuclear industry to actually cause catastrophes. They're not incentivized towards efficiency. So I'm going to keep doing these videos. I think Dave is right. We got to keep doing the videos, and we have to keep putting it out there so that people at least hear about it, because when they get hit on the back of the head by some big gigantic event that's going to happen because we're going to have an earthquake underneath Hanford or some nuclear facility in this country, at least we'll know. At least there will be people that say, oh my God, we should have at least been paying attention because people were putting something out. And this business about going to Fukushima for the Olympics is so off the charts insane. Going to Tokyo and sitting in an Olympic stadium built in Fukushima Prefecture with recycled wood from the Fukushima tsunami. Completely insane. Completely insane that anyone would allow anybody to go there, that you would allow any of your family members to go to that Olympics. Anyways, I'm going to end here. I know I've been reading a while, and I'm not going to apologize for these long videos. You can come back and watch them all, but I think this is an efficient way to do it, and I definitely want to read these stories, and I don't want to start and make 2 videos. So put your courage feet on, you guys. Thanks for subscribing and watching and listening to these information, and put your courage feet on. We really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you subscribing. Thumbs up. Let's give me the thumbs up and subscribe. Share this video, especially share this video, because this video has vital information. I wonder what the masses of Americans would say if they knew they were going to be burying this dirt all over Japan. Wow. Talk to you guys later. Bye.